Hi everybody. So I have about 10 minutes before I gotta go into work, which reminds me, I gotta put my little thingy on. And I just wanted to make a video because it's been a couple of weeks. Sorry, not quite a flock of geese. 4 geese just flew overhead. I'm outside my workplace in Waterloo, and there's quite a lot of Canada geese around here. I only like them when they're little fluffy babies. Otherwise, they're just assholes. Canada geese are really cobra chickens. So I guess the last couple weeks just haven't gotten any better. You know, still evicted. I have to file on Monday. I'm going to request some extra time, but I'm not going to stay where I am, and I don't have anywhere to go. So I guess I'm going to be living in my car. That's not very happy. I did look at one place, which is $220 more a month than I'm paying, which, I mean, I live paycheck to paycheck, so that seriously stretches my budget. And the place is tiny. It's half the size of my bedroom, plus a very tiny kitchen and a very tiny bathroom. The guy had a double futon, and it took up on almost the entire room. That's how small this place was. And it was a bachelor, so it was just like a room attached to the tiny kitchen and tiny bathroom. And for the princely sum of $11.50 a month. And I actually liked the place, and I would have taken it, except for the fact that there's stairs. And every place I look at is stairs and stairs and stairs. And I can't. I mean, even the 2 steps that I have to go up to get into my place now is really difficult. That's, you know, probably 50% of the problem. Other than, obviously, I can't afford anywhere. And the fact that, you know, it's so small means everything has to go in storage, which means I have even less money for rent, right? So, I don't know. I'm a little bit discouraged. And I've got my sister nagging me every day, but I need car repairs before we can do anything. And I can't get hold of the storage people. So, I don't know. It's just been such a mess. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to hear about my problems because you're here to hear about the books. And I haven't read a whole lot, but I did read a couple things. I read the last 2 installments in the Kindle creature feature, Best of Luck by Jason Mott and Big Bad by Chandler Baker. And both were quite good reads. And then the other novellas that I read 2 novellas by Wendy Dalrymple. And these are part of her Florida Gothic series. So one was called White Ibis, I think. I don't know if it's pronounced ibis or ibis. But those big white birds that they're not quite seagulls. They have black tips on their wings, apparently. Excuse me. I've never seen one because they're a tropical bird. And cobra chickens would probably eat them. And then the other one was called It Doesn't Go Away. So let's start with the creature feature stories. Best of Luck starts... I was kind of reminded of... There was a story by Stephen King. It was called something... Oh, I can't remember the title of it. Oh, there's the rest of the cobra chickens. There's the rest of the flock. I guess those guys were just... You want to see it? Sorry. I always like to show off the wildlife whenever I can. It was something about fair turn, something. Anyway, and it was about a guy who basically made a deal with the devil, and the devil granted him good luck because this guy was dying of cancer, and his cancer went into remission. But somehow the luck went, all of his bad luck went to his neighbor who was more successful than he was and just started getting worse. So this is a story from the point of view of the guy whose luck has gotten worse. So it's almost like an opposite, right? Not the same characters, not the same story, but I was really reminded of that premise that, you know, if you could make a deal somehow that your bad luck would go on to somebody else. Oh, and I know who I would put my bad luck onto, believe me. um, and there was some pretty good horror, some pretty good gore. I enjoyed that one. And it's the shortest of the creature features. I think it was only like 28 pages. So it's a pretty engaging read. And, you know, the relationship between these guys he's like, we're best friends. You cried when when this happened. What the hell? So I quite enjoyed that one. And then Big Bad by Chandler Baker, which I just read last night. And I'm not going to tell you too much about the story because it starts out as a kind of a family relationship melodrama. It's about this woman named Rachel who's, she's presenting her dissertation, and she gets the feeling that her husband's more, favored than she is, but he put in a good word for her. And then they go to their house home, and the husband's at home, and this weird guy shows up, and you're starting to wonder, like, what's going on here? And they've got two young daughters. And then Rachel's supposed to leave for a conference, but then her husband, Sam, shoves her in the basement, and you think, is this an abusive relationship? What is going on here? And then it's really cool. It doesn't actually reveal itself until about halfway through, and it's a good read. The characters are intriguing, and it's one of those stories that just sort of lets out its secrets a little at a time, and then halfway through you're like, oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's cool. So I quite enjoyed the structure of this one. And this one is, I think, this one's the longest of them. It's around 50 pages, where the other ones were all 30 to 38 pages. So it's a pretty satisfying read, and the pace is really good, and definitely worth a read. So if you're on Kindle Unlimited, all 6 of the creature feature stories are out there, and well worth a read. So now I've been following Darklit Press, and Wendy Dalrymple is another one of the authors that I follow, and she has been sort of, every so often I get these ads for the Florida Gothic excuse me, the Florida Gothic series that she's written, and apparently she's got a planned 7 books, and there's 3 out now. So I read the first 2. There's another one that I haven't picked up yet because it's a longer book. So they have there is a similarity to the 2 of them. First of all, because they seem like privileged white women problems. I know that sounds like really snide, but the characters are a little bit hard to be sympathetic with, because they're your Karens and your Beckys. They're the people that you can easily see yelling at a store manager in Target about the employees. So you're kind of like, ugh. And that doesn't mean that bad things shouldn't happen to them. It's just very hard to sympathize with them at first. So White Ibis is from the point of view of a woman who, she's got giant student loans. Oh, and poor thing has to move in with a guy she doesn't like, but she doesn't pay rent. So she meets this woman at a yoga class, and they become really good friends, but there's something just a little off about the relationship. And there's like this weird obsessiveness, and then things start to kind of spiral out of control, and they go on a girls' weekend, and she takes what she thinks is like a Valium to go on a flight, but she doesn't wake up for 3 days, and then she comes back and she's like, what did you do to me? And then the ending is pretty cool. It's called White Ibis because for some reason her friend is weirdly able to talk to and communicate with these weird birds. And again, it sounds weird, but you do kind of get into it after a while. I found the ending just a little bit abrupt, but why not? It never quite reveals who this woman is, or why she's able to talk to birds, but that's neither here nor there. So it was a pretty good, pretty short, entertaining read. And the other one is called It Doesn't Go Away. And it's a woman who's like 40-ish, and she's just kind of lost everything. So she's going to have to move out of her house, and we find out that her husband has just passed, or her fiance, I guess he was. And she's going on this long hike in the woods in the Appalachian Trail. And as she hikes, she starts meeting people, but the people look like people from her past. And it starts getting weirder and weirder. And you wonder, is this woman losing her mind? Is she actually meeting these people? What is going on, right? So it was pretty enjoyable too. It's not a bad week for reading, or 2 weeks, or however long it's been. I guess the next few things I've got in the can. Requiem for a Dream, which I'm not really enjoying because I don't really like the characters that much, so hopefully it'll get better. I've always wanted to read it, so it's going to be one of my 10. And then there's apparently a Take Back Your Kindle thing, so I found on my Kindle Horror Store by Grady Hendrix and The Last Final Girl by Stephen Graham Jones. I was pleased to find that because I borrowed it from Kindle probably years ago, and it's now out of print, so you can't even get it anymore. So I'm going to finish that one. And then there's also the Remember December, so I haven't quite decided what I'm doing for that. So that's it for me. I hope hope everybody's keeping well. Hope everybody has a holiday if I don't check in before then. Has a great holiday, I should say. And hope you're reading lots of horror. Have a great day.